Hello students, welcome to Top Scholars. Today, let us learn about the graphical representation of data or part frequency polygon. Let's begin. Graphical representation of data. It is another way of analyzing numerical data. It is a graph which is a sort of chart through which statistical data is represented in the form of lines or curves drawn across the coordinated points plotted on its surface. So basically, a data given to us, numerical data given to us, can be represented graphically. That is, with the help of lines or curves which are drawn across the coordinate plane, that is the XY plane. So we are going to use the XY plane and using lines and curves represent the data, the information, the numerical information given to us. So a graph is representation of the information using graphical symbols such as lines, bars, pie slices, dots, etc. The different types of graphical representations which we will be studying include bar graphs, histogram, frequency polygon, and ogive, that is cumulative frequency curve. In today's video, we are going to learn about frequency polygon. When the midpoints of the adjacent class intervals are joined by a straight line segments, the figure so obtained is a frequency polygon. So for a frequency polygon, what do we require? We have continuous classes. We find midpoint of those classes. We plot midpoint, comma, frequency on a XY plane. We join those points and we get a frequency polygon. This is an example of frequency polygon which is drawn over a histogram. Do you see the histogram in the background? The vertical bars, that is the histogram. The line drawn above it is the frequency polygon. Students, steps to construct a frequency polygon using a histogram are as follows. First, we draw a histogram using the given frequency distribution table. So, a normal histogram has to be drawn. Before drawing a histogram, ensure that the classes are continuous classes. Then, once a histogram is drawn, we mark the midpoint of the upper horizontal line of each rectangle. Why, students? Because for frequency polygon, we require the class mark, the midpoint of the class. So, here on the histogram, we simply mark the midpoint of the upper horizontal lines for each rectangle. Then, we introduce first and last classes, which will have zero frequency. That is, first class means before the given first class, we add one more class. And at the end of the last mentioned class in the table, we will mention one more class. Both of these classes will have zero frequency, which means there won't be any rectangle. They will be just on the x-axis itself. So, we mark their midpoints as well, which will be points on the x-axis only, which means that now we will join the consecutive midpoints by straight lines to get the required frequency polygon. Students, read the third point. The first and the last class were zero frequency class introduced by us. Therefore, their midpoints were lying on the x-axis. Right, students? Which means our frequency polygon will start from the x-axis and end on the x-axis.
To learn more about this topic, Download Top Scholars app.